One piece of advice I did get when I started in education was not to break my legs jumping on and off the bandwagons that come around in education. And I think it was delivered in a way that I wouldn't have understood at the time, but how I think back now, and it's always connecting with the learners and the learning. Things come and go, and they're invitations for us to re-examine and tweak our practices. But if you are starting with that fundamental of who the learner is and what the learning is that's meant to be, I think that's the best advice.
I think diversity. I didn't know the word diversity when I first started, because we were sheltered. We grew up on the reserve, our own little village. And then, even when we went to our school, we thought it was a treat going from one village to another village. We have 6 little livable villages in Squamish. So we thought it was a treat when we went from one to another, and yet we were all Squamish. So, our circle was pretty small, but, going into the education system. So I think that advice would have been good. Diversity was more than just what we see in front of us.
When I first started, some advice that was given to me was meet others where they actually are.
I've tried a lot in my practice to really just not make assumptions about where students are coming from, whether that's cultural assumptions or assumptions about why they are or aren't doing something. If they're not turning their camera on, there could be a number of reasons. If they're tired in class, it could be because they're supporting a family and having to work a lot. So I think that's really changed my practice a lot. And just being open to people's various ideas and intuitions in cases.
There are so many different ways to lead a team or facilitate learning, and that there's no one right way. I think I wasted a good 10 years trying to do things the right way, and I wish I had just felt like I had permission to try things my own way.
And one piece of advice I wish someone would have told me when I got into the field of teaching and learning is try everything, because there's always new knowledge, there's always new technology, so don't be afraid of failure, and think of failures as learning opportunities that where we fail forward.
It's going to be hard for the first few years because you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself, and then you just have to relax and realize it's all about relationships. It's all about getting to know your students, having them trust you, you learning from them. The content is not as important because they won't take in the content unless they know you and have a relationship with you.
Well, I started teaching a very, very long time ago, and it was language training prior to a long time before I came into higher education. And I used to get terrible stage fright. I hated public speaking, and I hated being in front of a class. So I guess I wish I'd understood at that point that teaching is a collaboration between the teacher and the students, and that there's no stage fright when you're working together as a team and you're all learning together.